Hi everyone, I'm working on my improvised vessel that was inspired by my trip up to the Green Door studio last time, and also inspired by Ariane Zurcher, and also inspired by the Roxy Girls. And I'm starting to join these edges together. Now I'm hoping that then I can shape it after, so it's a work in progress at the moment. I took a while with this because I wasn't coming up with something for the future part of it, so it's very much the third panel is about the future, and I'm still thinking about it, but what I've done is laid down a lot of background pieces of interest for now, as I'm thinking about what comes on top of all of those. So I'm just using one of these cottons. This is the first join, so I just want to get the pins out. So I've just overlapped the two edges and tried to have each panel so they're not straight line, but you know, like that and like that a bit, so that they've got a base but also makes sense in a way. We'll see. I could be wrong. We'll see. So one join, nearly done. Hope everyone's well and enjoying their days and evenings. I'm not going to, on camera, later I'll stitch down that so it's not a bit flapping around, or I'll just cut it off. I'll wait and see what works. So this is the edge of panel 2. So remember we had the sea saw me adrift because I went on holiday because I felt a bit like I didn't know what I was doing and where I was going, and then I made my second panel during that time, which was or after that time when I got back, which was explore, play and create, which is kind of my motto. That's what I want to be doing. And when I was thinking of this panel as the third piece, I was just feeling like I was really enjoying home, being at home. I can feel there's a pin under there. Being the enjoyment of me being home, but the enjoyment of Lily being home. And I just felt like maybe part 3 of this is about our sense of home and about our sense of belonging. Anyway, I was thinking quite a bit about home, and carrying home with you is sort of what I've been thinking a little bit about. Just going to try and get up this edge. That's not the edge. Or is it? I think this was where I finished last time, and that was the edge. So I've got this quite large bit of, it's like a very thick cotton at the back as a foundation. I do want to make it a bit stronger because at the moment it's just the inner workings with the embroidery and the bits of material that are all cut back. So there's quite a bit of stitching here to go just with like the foundations for now, just to get them all together and then to get the foundations down. But I'm not sure if I'm putting any more words other than just the word home, and it's kind of a personal meaning to me. It might not seem like it makes sense. I have a sense that one should be continually elevating and elevating. And, you know, it's like the 3 different ages that we have. You know, we have the maiden, mother, crone ages, if you look at it from that perspective. And this would make sense in terms of my early years not being so great, and then all of my middle years being about exploring and creating and playing. And then, you know, you getting to this last bit and you think about our connection to home. Home could be, even if you pass on, if you think of where you're going, might be feeling a bit like what you would call home. If I'm not going to get into a religious discussion there, but we all have our own different beliefs. And so for me, I said I wasn't going to, but for me, it's quite fascinating to be in a relationship with a Muslim, because we have very different beliefs about the afterlife and what happens and all of that. Anyway, I wasn't expecting to talk about that, but I was just waffling on. So let me talk about my piece here a bit more. And if there's any symbolism. So the Explore, Create and Play had extra things. There's some of my painting, there's some of my felting, there's beautiful quilty bits that have been made by someone else, there's these silk cocoons, there's buttons I got from Zoe from the Green Door, there's this hand-dyed, I coloured that with acrylic ink, this bit of open weave. I don't know, it's a bit like a hessian. I don't think it is, but it's very open weave. And so this part, there are a few things that are reminiscent of what I'm going through at the moment, I guess. Some of the stuff I've been using just recently, so taking me into the future. This one was the last doily I picked up from an op shop. And this one is an older one that I've had in my stash for a little while. I don't know if maybe Christine from Christine Create and Craft with Christine, maybe you gave that to me. I can't remember. It was a while ago. I've used this beautiful pink wool on one of my other vessels, and I just love the stitching through here. I picked up a whole heap of these from an op shop and have given one to Kate. And this is a bit of antique lace, which I love, but also just the fun of throwing something antique-y into it, because remember, these old things used to sit over the top of jugs of lemonade. And so when you're in your third age, you do remember stuff like this. And so it's kind of got a bit of everything. These are from Deb, Doll's House Vintage. I made a bag using this bit of blue for the vessel, and also that's my what I've been using for my underwater Great Barrier Reef bits, which are now, I can show you. I have sourced a frame to put it in. I haven't finished doing it, but I've sourced some frames so they'll be in the Etsy shop soon. Yeah, this is an old bit of shirt with a button on it. I've got a bit of this fabric. Well, it's like a wind cheater material, and I've used that underneath things as sort of like a padding. So it's got a bit of everything that is like an accumulation of the past, but also this is what am I futurizing? What am I thinking? And I'm thinking, what does home mean? I'm thinking, you know, still colourful, still colour. I don't know. I think a lot of the first and the second came together really well because it's almost like you're referencing your past. But when you're starting to think about the future, it's really a very different story. So I don't know. That's where I'm up to with it. And I guess I'll just keep going. So I want to stitch them all down first and then see where we go from there. So I am going to get this stitched down and then I will come back, I think, with any new thoughts and ideas once it's all down. Okay, I'm back now. I have stitched down all of the parts and I've actually joined this third panel to the first panel. Now the shape was supposed to be triangular, but it's kind of come out sort of weirdly circular. That's okay though. I am going to line it and then cant the stitch quite a bit, I think. I think that's what I'll do. That will be the next time. So let me just show you where I got up to, and I'll make another video when I've got the cantha stitching done. Right, so the join, I've added 2 little rocks here. I've added in some flower buttons and they're yellow, which is a bit of a theme for me. I've added in a couple of bits of silk cocoon and a bit of quilt to come across here. A little bit of extra material, and this had significance because this is a pillowcase that I had for 20 odd years, and it was a Sheridan pillowcase, and I've ripped it down and I've put a little bit here too. I've ripped them down and I've torn up into strips and made a crochet sort of little vessel. I've got a couple of little vessels that are this sort of size that I've been making that hold my orts, and I think I might use the new one I just made for, I'm not sure, just some leftover threads, or just holding the threads I'm working with. So the only other thing I did was I thought, this is the last panel. It's about coming home, whatever that means to anybody else. So I also thought that I'm going to put a heart, because a bit of a theme is now into my future. Home is where the heart is. So now I have a little bit of a theme that perhaps the heart will find home wherever you are. If your heart's wherever you are and you're happy, then that's the best place to be. Whether that's on holidays, in your house, at a friend's, at your family's, or wherever it is, it doesn't really matter. So it's a funny shape because it's like that's one panel, and then here's the join for the other panel. So it is 3-sided, but maybe it doesn't show that way. Anyway, that's where I'm up to. It's clearly not strong enough, as you can see, to sort of stand up on its own. So I'm definitely going to find a thick batting, I think, and put it all the way inside. Line it, make it stiff, and then see where we go from there. So just to recap, first panel, early years. Second panel, middle years. Third panel, final years. End of life, whatever, I don't know. Home. So there you are. I hope you've enjoyed this little catch up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.